I miss Blackout. You know, Blackout wasn't perfect, I know that, but, you know, you look at all the BRs now and Warzone, and to be honest, I look back and I think I actually miss Blackout. Blackout just felt so much more fun, and to be honest, like, I don't want to play any other BR, I'm not really interested. Warzone, I've just never really got into it. There's just, I don't know why, but you know, the map doesn't feel as good. There's a lot of like campers, a lot more than Blackout, even though there was a lot in Blackout, but I don't know, it just feels like there's a lot more now. It just, I don't know, just everything in Blackout just seemed a lot better than in Warzone, and that is including like the guns. I much preferred the guns in Blackout than Warzone, and also I preferred how the game felt. Like the gameplay for Blackout feels, I don't know why, but just felt smoother and better to play than in Warzone. The map for Blackout to me was perfect because you had like all the old zombie maps pretty much all put into one. So, you know, each different area had like the old zombie maps, and you know, I loved that. I loved like going to different parts of the map and revisiting like the old zombie maps like we used to play. They also added like a lot of weapons from the old Call of Duties, from the zombies map, which I also like, and also like different areas of the map you could come across like actual zombies and kill them. You know, I just thought that was a nice little feature which they added. Another thing I really liked was the skins in Blackout. Like, you didn't have to deal with the annoying, stupid, ridiculous skins that just don't go in like a war game now. Like, you know, Blackout was sort of before that all started, so the skins actually went with the game, and it just felt so much more immersive playing. You know, so I'm so glad like Blackout missed all that. I know if they did a Blackout 2 they might add it because it just adds so much more money, but you know, if they did end up doing a Blackout 2, I hope they don't add it. But that's one thing I did like anyway about Blackout. We didn't have to deal with all like the ridiculous skins that everyone wears now. And I actually thought the looting system and how you find weapons and attachments in Blackout was perfect, to be honest. I had no problems with it. I don't really like the certain loadouts you can keep in Warzone, and you can just like respawn as well in the gulag. I don't know, it's just not as fun. I like in Blackout where you had one life and that was pretty much, and you had specific maps like Alcatraz where you could respawn, but you know, you still had like your separate normal Blackout map where you couldn't respawn. And I don't know, I like that. Like, it felt more tense, you didn't want to die, and you didn't have like certain loadouts, so just whatever you found on the floor, you found on the floor, which I prefer that sort of system than what Warzone has. But I will say, after a while, I think roughly around a year, when they kept updating Blackout when I stopped playing, they sort of added like updates that I didn't like. So they had like these boots where you could pretty much jetpack in the air and everything, and I really didn't like that update. And luckily I did sort of stop playing before that, but just hopefully, you know, they don't go in that direction. I don't like the direction they went towards the end. You know, I prefer boots on the ground, you know, not like jetpacking, jumping everywhere. Like, I don't like that. You know, the traditional Blackout before them sort of updates towards the end were way better. And to be honest, I think one of the main reasons why I don't like these like jetpacks and these boots that can make you really jump really high and whatever is because I prefer it being slower paced. And that's probably why I really liked Blackout, because it was a lot slower paced, especially compared to its multiplayer, where it's really fast paced, and especially like Black Ops 6, a really fast paced multiplayer. And also I think Warzone is a lot faster paced than Blackout as well. So I like it being slower paced, not too slower paced, you know, like Battlefield, but just a little bit slower, where you can actually just sort of take your time a little bit, rotate around the map, you know, and not just running into people constantly, getting killed, respawning, killing. You know, I don't like that. I like where you just take your time a little bit. It just takes a little bit more strategy for me, instead of just like sort of Twitch shooting all of the time. You know, I loved Blackout as well that much is because I used to pretty much stream all the time, make YouTube videos, clips, montages, everything on it. And to be honest, you know, Blackout really got me into streaming to begin with, and making like these sort of clips and montages on YouTube. I mean, I don't make them anymore, and obviously, you know, what I did do, it didn't really get a lot of views, so you know, I just sort of stopped in the end. And not just that, it's just sort of Blackout sort of came towards its end, and there was no other like game I liked that much to continue making videos, montages, or streaming on, to be honest. But I will leave you this little montage now, which I did create in the past, of just some like memories of Blackout, of me streaming it. So I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully it will bring back some memories for you when you were playing Blackout as well.
And you changed me.
Oh, changed me. Where's Dave? Right.
Oh my god. Get out of my face! Don't try and snipe me! Oh shit! Yeah, I see people. He's 165. Knocked one. Killed them! Oh my god! I am the best! Goodbye. Dead. Goodbye. Oh, killed them all! Oh my god, it's too easy! So I hope you enjoyed that little like montage and all them clips of when I used to stream Blackout, and you can probably tell that I enjoyed Blackout a lot. And I haven't really had that much fun since Blackout. I mean, you know, I like a few games now and I do enjoy, but I don't know, Blackout was sort of like the last game I could really play a lot, like all the time, and still enjoy it. And to be honest, as I said, you know, there's not really many games out there now which you can just constantly play and really enjoy. At the moment, there just really isn't any other good BR. Like, I mean, as I said, I don't really like Warzone. I'm really not interested in the others at all. And the only one that I sort of would really like, I think, would if they brought out like a Halo BR, which I know they won't. They've said they won't, which is actually a shame because I think I really would love a Halo BR that would honestly be perfect. But looks like they're not going to make it. So to be honest, my last hope, and hopefully a lot of yours as well, is a Blackout 2. Let me know your thoughts. Like, do you miss Blackout, or to be honest, didn't you like Blackout and you don't want a Blackout 2? Like, are you happy with Warzone or any other BR? I really want to know your opinion. Let me know your thoughts.